MCG. Could the Woods bounce back after their loss in Sydney last week? Or would the Demons maintain their winning run at the MCG? The Hawks were going for their 5th win on end at Princes Park, but to do it, they had to overcome the classy Cats, who got pipped on the post at the same ground last week. All the day's action on Saturday Night Replay. Good evening and welcome to our replay. Well, our first replay tonight is from the MCG. It was a mammoth crowd. 67,000 turned up to see the old rivals play. And with the weather, it was like a finals-type atmosphere. Collingwood were looking to break the drought against Melbourne. They'd lost their last 6 matches against the Demons, and they went in with Brian Taylor, a last-minute withdrawal from the Magpies lineup. Let's firstly take a look at the highlights of the first 2 quarters and the commentators at the MCG, Sandy Roberts, Ian Robertson and Ross Glendinning. Not quite ready?
Third quarter.
All right, we'll go to the third quarter. The scores were level at half-time at the MCG. A typical match between these two with a low-scoring encounter, 40 points each at half-time. There's been no addition to the score, and we pick it up not long after half-time.
Perhaps the players, the shadow of the grandstand certainly making it difficult for the ground to firm up. Road. Hand pass out the back, Spalding off to Jackson. Jackson's hand pass, Healy. Here's a chance for Newport. Pings at goal and puts it through.
Great teamwork there from Melbourne. Jackson, Healy, Newport, all very quick, sharp handballs, knowing where their teammates were. And Newport kicked a good goal there under a bit of pressure as he kicked. Managed to steady sufficiently enough here. Quick hands from Jackson to Healy. Quick again to Newport. Newport under pressure from Guan. Steadied sufficiently to kick a good goal.
Pretty happy with themselves, the Demons. Kick away to a 6-point advantage. And early in the third term, Melbourne lead by 1 straight kick. Collingwood go into attack. Goes over the back. Stretch, usually pretty composed. Stephen Stretch, 2 bounces. Messes it up though. Gaffer in the back, says the umpire. And I would think that it would have been a reward for a tremendous effort by Gaffer, who never gives up. He has the ball at half forward. Long drop punt kick in towards the forward pocket. Kelly, Shepherd tries a flip out the back. And Melbourne defenders hold it in. Another bounce will take place. Heath Shepherd, half forward for Collingwood.
Steins and Manson. Won by the latter, but it's Newport who kicks towards centre wing, straight to David Cloak. Well, he's going to have to kick it this time. Always looking for a handball, but he goes into the middle, and Christian gets around Newport, looking for Dacos at half forward. And it's pushed wide towards the boundary line. Stretch scoops it up beautifully to Lovett. Brett Lovett looking for Newport again. He goes long from one end of the square to the other. Sean White waiting down in front towards Campbell. Cloak intercepts. Hammers a hand pass back towards the centre. Starcevic couldn't take it. Neither could Hawke. Starcevic in again. Out comes Turner through the back door. Over the centre. The umpire getting in terribly in the way of James Manson, and he wouldn't have appreciated that one bit. It's socket wide towards the boundary line. Peter Road first to it. To half forward. A great diving mark taken by Jamie Turner. Almost slipped, but just managed to fall back with the ball. Starcevic gets it away to Morwood, on to Tony Shaw. They're in the centre of the ground. Barwick back to Morwood. He's at 50 metres. But again elects to kick short. Shepherd, Newport. Newport a hurried kick towards Stretch on the boundary line. And he's quite happy to see that one go. Well, we've got both sides with their injury problems. Let's go down to the boundary line. Here's Michael again.
Yes, Steve O'Dwyer has received a heavy knock in the ribs and they suspect they are broken.
That's bad luck for Melbourne and Steve O'Dwyer as Tony Shaw's shot is wide. So it will be Alan Johnson who will bring the ball back into play. Great crowd here today. Must be nudging the 70,000 mark. Beautiful kick from Johnson to the half-back line. Cloak in front. He's got Tony Shaw creating space across half forward. May look towards Kelly, who's got a drop back. Read it beautifully.
He's certainly been a handy replacement for Brian Taylor. Not that he came into the side for Taylor's absence. He played reasonably well last week at centre half back for Collingwood against the Swans, but showing good versatility there, coming to the forward line. He's already kicked 3 goals.
An important kick for the Magpies. Kelly has done it well so far. The drop punt is on its way. That can make number 4. Scores are level. 46 points apiece. Manson in with a ruck up against Stynes. Won by Big Jim Stynes. Down to Healy, who's crunched into the ground. Pushed, said the umpire. So Melbourne will go forward.
Well, neither side giving an inch. Greg Healy kicks it fairly direct to the front of the square. Collingwood defenders. McEwen on this occasion gets it away to Mullane. Rebound football. Mullane runs up through half back. Hand pass over the top. Helping out is McGuan. And he's always running, Mick McGuan, up towards half forward. Nearly a mark to Manson. He dives after it again. Dersman's there for Melbourne. Heath Shepherd there for Collingwood. And the ball is kept in at half forward for Collingwood. How quickly does it come out of defence? And all of a sudden the Magpies are a scoring chance. Scores level. A real struggle for supremacy here at the MCG. Now a chance for Dacos. He flips it out the back. Gafer off to Brown. Brown's kick around the corner to the front of the square. No mark taken. Kelly there. And the Melbourne defence, Wilson. It's close to the boundary line. It has gone over before the kick came out from Starcevic. And we'll have a boundary throw in 15 metres, maybe 20 metres around from the Collingwood goal. So the Magpies are a chance. 6-10, slightly inaccurate. Melbourne 7-4. High over the top, Manson. A quick kick, and a mark has been taken by Brown. It's not paid. Play on, says the umpire. Back it goes to Mullane. Mullane's kick around the corner to half forward. Nearly a mark to Kelly. Wilson's in there for Melbourne. Stynes comes out with the football, and he kicks Melbourne out of trouble. Out towards the wing. Christian leads in the race for the ball. Good tackle, Spalding. Hand pass goes off to Mullane. Mullane kicks it into the pocket, and it's a poor kick. The Stynes takes the mark, unopposed at half-back for Melbourne. Big Jim Stynes. Out towards the wing. A high fly by Mullane, can't mark, and it goes over for another boundary throw-in.
And Lee Matthews making a change. Colin Alexander coming onto the ground to replace Heath Shepherd.
Stynes. Opposed by Cloak. The bustling David Cloak. Gets the knockout. Alexander's a chance for his first possession. Turner just gets the kick away. Very close to the line, and it goes over on the full. Free kick to be taken by Stretch.
And Ross, it's amazing, but the way the game seesaws, it appears that Melbourne controls it for 5 minutes, then Collingwood takes over for 5.
Yes, exactly right. Great seesawing game. Both sides are exerting enormous pressure on each other.
Wilson's sweeping hand pass goes astray. Brown a chance to run for Collingwood. Puts the Pies down to half forward. But a good mark taken in defence by Gary Lyon. Switches play to the members' flank. Barwick does it beautifully. McGuan saying get rid of it quickly. He does to Dacos. Here's a chance for Collingwood to score. Dacos shoots, and he misses.
Well, 9 times out of 10 you'd have put on your glasses there, wouldn't you, Ross?
Yep. Yes, and Colin Alexander was calling heavily for the ball there. Dacos certainly rightfully had a shot for goal, but in missing, may have thought twice to pass to Alexander.
Collingwood leads. The big fist goes up. Phoebe taps it wide a second time. Love it. under pressure from Mullane, who soccers it down towards the half-forward line. Hughes tackled high, and the ball will come back. Danny Hughes will take a free kick on the half-back flank. Only his third kick for the day. Hughes goes towards the half-forward line. Pouncing on it is Healy. Tried to get it away. Does have plenty of support. It was Rode who gave it to Newport. Campbell taps on intelligently. There is no one there, however. McEwen gets it back to Christian, onto Mullane. Collingwood out of trouble. Hawke from half-back into the centre, looking for Starcevic and finds him. Plays on. Back to Hawke again. Long in towards full forward. Alexander is there. So too Kelly shoots a goal, and as soon as he kicked it, he knew he'd missed badly.
A terrific contest there from James Manson, back into the pack and allowing the ball to spill free straight to Craig Kelly. Should have been a goal, really.
Alexander though flying from behind. Ross
should have been on the ground.
On the ground, he would have had a real chance there.
And he should be, because the Collingwood forwards mostly being tall. He's one of the shorter players, should be on the ground.
Lyon takes the free kick for Melbourne. Beautiful kick, 50 metres plus. There's a great mark to Mullane. Runs in a goal from 50 metres. Darren Mullane, it's there. Great kick by Mullane.
Terrifically inspirational goal from Mullane, who's played an excellent game today. Both back and forward, running hard, contesting very hard. He's laid some excellent tackles, and a fine team-lifting goal from Darren Mullane.
I've even got a tingle. That's how inspirational that was. It was terrific stuff.
Peter Dacos must lift as well, which he has done in this quarter so far.
The Collingwood chant has gone up as they lead by 7 points. They go forward through Manson again. Wide to the flank. No mark taken. Who's first to recover? Alexander, fresh man on the ground. Starcevic back to Gavin Brown. Great smother by Johnson. Dacos gets it clear homer. Alexander shoots. He's goal. 2 goals in 2 minutes to Collingwood.
Well, and Johnson perhaps considering himself a little unlucky after magnificent smother. Ball spilling free to Dacos, who very quickly knew that Alexander was behind him. Quick left-hand handball, and Alexander finishing off. Very quick goal from Collingwood.
It's the Collingwood supporters that are pretty happy with their team. Manson, Phoebe pushed off the ball. Wilson just gets an effective kick towards half-forward. Gathered by Turner, hand pass over the top. Christian, tackled by Campbell. Umpire sees everything pretty fair, so he will come in and bounce just inside that 50-metre line. The biggest difference between the two sides at the moment, 59 plays 46. Kick towards full forward. White pushed off the football. Morwood quick to get back. Tries to tap it further forward. It goes over for a boundary throw in about 25 to 30 metres around from the Melbourne goal. So the struggle has been enormous. Collingwood get just a few little breaks and they lead by 13 points. Out the back, Turner, who's been a great player at half-back for Collingwood. Kick into the centre. The bounce a little awkward. Good for Starcevic. At half-forward, Hughes. Chance for Barwick. He goes after it again. And he pushes it out. Steins now under pressure. Starcevic falls into his arms. Kick around the corner. Dacos marks. 40 metres from goal, a tight angle. And he's found it difficult to slip Stephen Newport. But he takes the mark on his chest. And another chance for Collingwood to score. Dacos punts for goal. Very close, just misses to the right.
Well, Peter Dacos certainly has lifted his game this third quarter. Had the first kick out of the centre from the first bounce. And Collingwood certainly need that.
Magpie fans pretty excited. Dersma kicks in. Mark taken by Lovett.
Brett Lovett from half-back. Up high was Christian, but before acceptances, Wilson trying to push the ball forward. Goes in again, but it's repelled by Turner. A high kick towards the half-back line. Mullane lost it to Jackson. He goes back to half-forward, and again, the stumbling block is Jamie Turner. Into the centre, Darren Mullane. On to McGuan. Usually kicks pretty well. That is no exception. He finds Manson on the 50-metre line. Collingwood suddenly grabbing a little of the initiative. James Manson goes long but pulls the football in an effort to get more distance. And one behind only is the result.
Interesting to note, Ian, you mentioned at half-time you'd be inclined to move Gary Lyon to the forward line if you were John Northey. That's happened. Earl Sporting back to centre half-back.
Dersma takes it from Johnson in a short kick. Campbell marks the offensive side of centre wing. Going over the centre now. Wilson beaten to it by Hawke. Turner again, Flintoff over the top, and the umpire decides to take charge.
Brian Wilson hasn't been in the play much. Who would need to lift for Melbourne? He's the sort of player that is that inspirational type, and they definitely need him to lift.
Barwick, kick smothered. Hughes, Barwick again. Held without the football.
Well, in my view, that's holding the football.
Spot on, Ross.
He dropped it.
He bounced it. To get around, was tackled. You're in possession of the ball, holding the ball.
Barwick's kick over the centre, and a good mark taken. Looks like Johnson at the bottom. Alan Johnson to Wilson, forward of centre. Melbourne need a score. He goes short. Good looking kick. Finding Lyon.
Well, this is a chance.
Yeah.
Kicks the ball beautifully.
He does, yes, he does.
Just getting back to that Barwick free kick, it's probably so long since the umpires have seen that happen.
Exactly
They've probably
right.
forgotten about it.
Well, I can't recall the last time I saw that happening, certainly.
So Gary Lyon, a chance to close the gap. It's a high kick, won't make the distance. And right at the back, David Cloak, cool, calm and collected.
Rather experienced mark, that one, Sandy. Let everyone fly, and he just sat back, took the mark right on his chest.
With his 8th kick, pulls it wide in towards the pocket. Gaifer got a grab, but that was all. Morwood does well. Collingwood through Hawke. Now to Barwick, are out of trouble. He loves a run, Doug Barwick. Looking for Starcevic, couldn't find him. Alexander taken out of it, but Kelly has the chance. Gives it across to Christian. Christian back to Starcevic. He shoots. He goes.
They've had 22 scoring shots to 11, and they lead by 21 points. Steins in the ruck. Can he lift his side? Ball comes out the back. Alexander chipped in. Kick up forward by Melbourne. Kerrison can't get the ball clear. Jackson. Free kick's been picked out of it. It's going to Kerrison, perhaps because he didn't quite have control of the football. Short kick by Kerrison into the centre. Mark to Hawke. Play on at every opportunity. Hawke's kick up to full forward. No mark taken. Dacos looking for that hand pass out the back. Newport struggling. Kelly gets the hand pass out. Now there's a chance for Collingwood through Shaw. He's pushed as he kicks the football. And maybe he was over the line when he did kick it.
Yes,
so we'll have a boundary throw in.
Yes, you're right, Ian.
The play about 40 metres around from the Collingwood goal. Jimmy Steins and Manson. Steins jumps a little too early. Manson nearly grabs the football. Tony Shaw again after it. Comes out the back. Alexander! That's a goal!
Well, the move that Lee Matthews made in this quarter, he shivered off the ground and Colin Alexander on. Paid dividends. Alexander kicking his second goal. Looking quite lively there. As we mentioned with the taller players in the Collingwood forward line, bringing the ball to ground, they need those smart players, of which Colin Alexander certainly has proved to be that. Even Peter Dacos is just managing to break away every now and then now from Newport. And it's starting to give Collingwood some life.
Centre bounce again. On a free kick from the centre. Jim Stein's running straight at Manson. And the Collingwood man will take it.
And this man into the ruck, he's very competitive, certainly making it difficult for Melbourne at the centre bounces.
Manson from the centre. To half forward, Campbell. Clue alone is going to be paid. Kick short, Spalding. Still on the half-back flank. Wider to Lovett. Can Melbourne mount something? Johnson in the centre. Gets clear of Alexander, but is forced to kick under pressure. Hughes. Tackled solidly by Brown, but gets his kick. Sean White. Great use of the body.
Really was. He knew Kerrison was coming in the side. Moved in very quickly. Stuck his backside out and kept Kerrison out of the contest and then juggled a fine mark.
This to cut the margin to 21 points. Sean White, kick number 6, 30 metres out. Drop punt, okay. Well, things just not going the way of the Demon. Don't know whether that gentleman was unhappy or happy. I'll leave it up to you. Back into play again comes McEwen. A beautiful kick down towards the centre. Brown couldn't quite take the mark, going with the flight of the ball. Steins onto Johnson. Melbourne into attack again. He'll go with his right boot. There's no one there. Can Cloak get back? He can, right on the last line of defence.
I bet Lee Matthews is happy he signed his new contract. Cloak kicks it out to the members' side. The mark's been taken by Mullane, and Collingwood out of trouble again. Mullane's short kick is effective. Mark taken by Starcevic. Greg Healy arriving a little late. Starcevic runs around. Spalding not minding the mark all that well, and Starcevic gains about 4 metres. Up towards half forward, running onto it, Barwick. He'll go into an open goal. Dougie Barwick from 50. Long kick is there.
14 kicks to Doug Barwick. 5 hand passes and 4 marks. It's been a fine effort as Kerrison tumbles Collingwood forward again. The bounce for Kelly is not good. Straight down to Dacos. He shoots. Will Campbell get there? I don't think so. It's another one.
Sandy, that's their 7th goal for the quarter.
And you can't keep a good player out of the game for the total game, as Newport did very well on Dacos in that first half. Dacos just breaking away, and Luck running with him now, perhaps coming back to him with that kick. Very sharp play here from Kelly. And Dacos' kick just running away from Tony Campbell. And as I mentioned, Peter Dacos will be lifted greatly by that.
Centre bounce again. Collingwood running hot. It's Alexander down towards Dacos. Can't quite trap it cleanly enough. Campbell loses it. Has support. It's Dersma. Jamie Dersma under pressure. Now Paul Hawke. Morwood wide. They're really running. Brown short to Kelly. Takes a great mark.
Great hands, hasn't he?
He's been a tremendous player, that what we've seen, hasn't he? About the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep. Done very little wrong. But he would not appreciate the angle he is on. Kicked 4 goals, though. Pushes this right across the face. And eventually over the line, says the boundary umpire. So a throw in Collingwood's left forward pocket. I would have thought that young lady'd look happier than that. From the throw in, Manson. Spalding's kick partly smothered. Hughes gets hold of it and goes long. Brown and Flintoff. Brown beautifully done. Christian Claim. Look at them pounce on that football. The determination by both sides is a credit. Sean White pushes out the back door. Stretch to Jackson going past. Look at him steam away. Ricky Jackson, 3 bounces. Gets his kick just in time. To half-forward line. Surrounded by the opposition.
And the value of Michael Gafer there, what I find fantastic chase and tackle from him, as it looked as if Ricky Jackson, probably one of the quickest players in the league, was going to break away.
A bounce. Melbourne just into attack and desperately in need of quick goals. Close to siren time, however. Time may beat them in this quarter. Been a grand term of football by Collingwood. There is the siren. It's 3/4 time. Collingwood fans delighted with a 7-goal blast. Collingwood 12-13, 85. Lead Melbourne 7-5, 47. Three-quarter time here at the MCG. Collingwood 12-13, 85. Lead Melbourne 7-5, 47. One of the most damaging players on the field has been wingman Doug Barwick. And Ross, it's interesting to see how the wingmen, particularly Barwick, have operated today.
Yes, Sandy, that's what I'd just like to talk about briefly here. Barwick has been playing straight up and down in his wing. Rather than going across the ground, he's been going up and down this way on both sides, as has Stephen Stretch on the other, going up and straight for goal. Rather than trying to crisscross, which some players do, chasing a kick, they've been very direct and heading straight for goal, and it's been very purposeful, particularly Barwick.
All right, well, let's talk about that third quarter, because Doug Barwick, who so far has 2 goals and he kicked a beauty in the third quarter. The Collingwood fans pretty happy with things at the moment, but a winning quarter, Ross?
Yes, I think so, and that lead, particularly the way the game seesawed, is a terrific lead. Even when they got to about 13 or 14 points in front, they just seemed to have the edge on Melbourne, and Melbourne now are flagging. They've changed a few of their players around. They've got Hughes near the ruck now, Stein centre-half forward, Spalding back to centre-half back. They're looking for the right combination line into the forward line. Northey not panicking, just looking for that right mix, and that's where they miss having someone like a Darren Bennett at full forward.
Okay, let's go down to the boundary line. Here once again is Michael Robbins.
It's been a tough game, and both coaches revved his charges. Actually, Lou Matthews came out and congratulated Peter Dacos in his effort in that quarter. He wants the run and the desperation kept up. And John Northey stressed that they must score early to remain in contact with Collingwood and fight it out to the end.
Right, thank you, Michael. Yes, they've got a lot of work to do. They trail by some 38 points, and you can see John Northey making his point quite clear. Time will tell if his players can respond as we go to the three-quarter time scores in other games. Well, we've got a progress score here, and look at Geelong. They had that massive lead and they've watched it disappear. Geelong 19-9, 123. Hawthorn coming back with a 7-goal blast, 16-8, 104. And St Kilda doing pretty well against the visitors Sydney at the moment. St Kilda 10-11, 71, leading Sydney 7-10, 52. Carlton looking for their first win of the year, and they continue to lead Richmond 11-10, 76 to Richmond 8-11. It's half-time in the league game between Eastern Suburbs and Parramatta. The latter just getting the edge. They lead 4-0. Okay, here we go. Into the final quarter here at the MCG. Can the Demons come back? 38 points is the margin. Not insurmountable. Manson has done well since going into the ruck, and he's still working hard for the ball. Now Healy for Melbourne. Gets it clear to Newport. Great smother. Morwood has done well. Just paddles forward to Barwick, who's been a star. To half forward. Kelly couldn't quite take it, but he taps it wide. Great play. Alexander shoots in towards goal, and it drifts across the face. It spins back. Campbell sees it over the line for one behind. Danny Hughes. Straight down the middle. Looking for Steins. With him on that occasion was Cloak. Road gets a hurried kick into the centre. Stretch. Tries to bend one round. Eventually it goes very wide towards the wing. Kerrison. A little tap back was the intention to McGuan, but Wilson socketed forward. Now Turner's soccer is taken by Lyon, who kicks to half forward, and Sean White takes the mark. Thought about playing on, but will go back and have a shot. Kicking from just inside 50 metres, and the Demons wanting goals and wanting them fast. 39 points the margin. Sean White shoots for goal. Slightly to the right, is it? One behind. So we're back to a margin again of 38 points, and Premier John Cain, with wife Nancy on the left, enjoying a pleasant afternoon at the football.
McEwen to kick the football back in for Collingwood. Their third quarter was premiership football. Kick towards half-back on the outer side, marked to Morwood. Magical stuff by Shane Morwood. Sees a player on the opposite side and transfers play to David Cloak on the members' side. See David Cloak, my heart goes to my mouth, but it's successful. Kick up towards half forward. Barwick does some good challenging work. Gives Brown the chance to take possession and kick Collingwood up towards half forward. Comes off the pack. Starcevic kicks to the front of the goal square. Marking contest. Nilly to Manson. Here's a chance for Barwick. Diving mark, only 30 metres out on a difficult angle. Barwick, who's had 20 possessions.
Yes, when you're having a good day, you also have a little bit of luck. Slightly lucky for Doug Barwick, but he's in the right place.
So impressive statistics, and adding 2 goals to that certainly makes his contribution a valuable one. Could be a nail in the Demons' coffin. Barwick kicks for goal and kicks accurately. No. Some excited fans, some excited commentators, but a behind to Collingwood.
.39 points. Danny Hughes. Kicking out well. Straight down the centre. Over the head of Johnson it goes. Starcevic to someone going past. It's Dacos. Hooks it round his body. Going into the pocket. Kelly there, unable to complete the grab. Love it close to the boundary line. Play goes on. I think some players thought it may have gone over. Wilson over the centre. Marking in front of the eyes is Gary Lyon. He's at centre wing. Going long to half forward. A big pack of players. Jackson waits down to Flintoff. Onto the left foot. He'll snap at goal. Going very close, but just off target for one behind.
Well, Melbourne really do need Brian Wilson to spark up. He's been very well held by Mick McGuan, who came on in that first quarter having started on the bench. But he needs to spark up, as has Peter Dacos done for Collingwood.
McEwen's short kick finds Starcevic in the back pocket. A little risky Collingwood. Starcevic kick in towards centre half back. Kerrison. Now he goes straight across to McEwen in the opposite back pocket. McEwen looking for a player in short and finds him. It's Jamie Turner. And 4 kicks. They're 55 metres from the Melbourne goal, but they still have possession. Turner drop the torpedo punt kick towards centre half forward. At the back, Alexander already kicked 2. Kicks goal number 3.
So Collingwood continue to surge forward. 44 points is the margin. Centre bounce, won by Manson. Johnson tries to take it away, but his kick goes to David Cloak. Bullocks his way through, then kicks long and deep in towards the pocket. Dacos and Lovett see it over the line.
Interesting centre bounce setup there for Collingwood. Manson actually going for the knock with David Cloak starting back and running through to the centre, and Manson moving up to centre half forward.
Manson and Steins. Hughes now. hurried kick that gathers little distance. Newport threads his way through to centre wing. Clayton not marking. Spalding pushing forward for Wilson. Inside 50, but Jamie Turner has been like the Rock of Gibraltar all day today.
Oh, he's very solid across that half-back line.
Played a grand game, and they've got loose players on that last line of defence. Mullane can run it out. Towards Brown. Good pair of hands to McGuan. Collingwood go down towards their half-forward line. Manson plays on to Barwick. Another hero. Kick is a wobbly one. It drops short. Brett Lovett marks in the back pocket.
Actually, for Doug Barwick, I would have thought a poor kick. Lovett. Outside the 50-metre line. Phoebe off to Newport. Newport looking for someone to hand pass to. Campbell back to Phoebe. Melbourne going now up towards half-forward. Christian stands his ground and takes the mark over Spalding. He plays on, hand passes to Cloak, who's at centre-half back. Cloak's short kick finds Hawke. Here come the Magpies again. Morwood over the top to Starcevic. A little too far, but Starcevic with a bit of space. Oh no. Gets the hand pass back. Hawke will be tackled. Just gets the kick away. Up towards half-forward. The Melbourne defence now coming out through Dersma. Tackled by Kelly. Dersma knocks it close to the line. Kelly goes after it again. Can't control it and will have a boundary throw in. Magpie fans in the outer. Very, very happy. The scoreboard 13-15 to 7-7. And we're nearly halfway through the last quarter. Steins. Alexander gets the kick away. Up towards half-forward. At the back. Manson interferes with his opponent. And the free kick will go to Collingwood, to Melbourne, to be taken by Campbell. Tony Campbell at half-back. Kicks it into the centre. No mark taken. Ball comes clear. Brown, who's played well for Collingwood, on his wing. Kicks it back towards centre half-forward. The high flyers. Manson can't mark. Tidying up Lovett. Newport. Well tackled by Alexander. Hawke at centre half-forward. Hawke goes for goal. There's another one.
The margin is now 50 points. The Collingwood army has begun the chant. From the middle, Newport's kick smothered. Manson does well. Phoebe, a hurried kick. Kerrison thumps it wide, but taken by Wilson. Looking tired was Jackson. On to Healy, who's been quiet. Kerrison to Morwood. And with the numbers, they're able to run it out again. Alexander traps it well. Kicks to half-forward. The ball drops short, and it's marked by Danny Hughes. Plays on quickly. Lovett. Over the head of Connolly. Over the head of Phoebe. Tony Shaw is there. Held without the football. And it eventually goes over the line. Throw in to take place.
It's fairly indicative of how Melbourne are going at the moment. The ball just skimmed past three players, all got a finger to it, landed with Tony Shaw, who went straight for the ball, ended up with it in his hands.
Just under 16 minutes remaining. Phoebe again unable to take it. Can Healy do something with it? This ground has proven to be a little slippery. Connolly does well to the left half-forward flank. Jackson tried to thump it over his head to keep it in play. Was unsuccessful. And so another throw. After a very, very even first half, it was Collingwood who took the initiative in the third quarter. Mullane. The centre wing. Barwick tries to tap on, but waiting there is Campbell. Cloak couldn't quite take it. Bailey at the bottom, looking for Newport. Two Collingwood players there. Mullane has his body over the ball, eventually gets it out to Tony Shaw, wider to Brown, who lost it, but will have time to go and retrieve it again. Their backing up has been very solid. Gaffer can get it away and let a run take place. It's Morwood. Couple of bounces from 50 metres. Oh, Kelly's in the square. Great play.
Well, his opponent, Tony Campbell, I'm not sure where he thought he was going, but he's running out towards the member's side, directly in the opposite direction where the ball was coming from.
Craig Kelly looking for goal number 5. This to make the margin 56 points. Well. Hit the post. 14-16, 100. They lead by 51.
Well, they won't help Collingwood. They'll be looking for percentage now. I'm sure Lee Matthews would have preferred a goal.
Gee, how can you miss from there? Incredible. Dersma kicks the ball to the member's side. Mark to Steins. Handball off. There's been a free kick picked out and a 50-metre penalty because Melbourne went on with it. Shepherding being done by the Melbourne player to give Steins the mark. Umpire picked it up. Free kick to Collingwood, and now the 50-metre penalty puts the Collingwood player in the goal square.
Gavin Brown, yes. Well, the 50-metre applied there because the umpire blew his whistle twice, and still the Melbourne players continued on. Greg Healy blew it a third time, and 50-metre was the penalty.
Brown to kick for goal. No mistake this time.
So 10 goals to 1 since half-time. Has turned a very even contest into a one-way street. Manson, Bailey flicking over, looking for Lyon, but it's Wilson who takes it. Back to Lyon. Could find Spalding. A little too high. McEwen does well to Christian. Back to Turner. Jamie Turner, 13 kicks for the day, has done remarkably well. Gaffer gave it to Morwood, who was caught out. Lyon at the bottom. Alexander to Cloak. Goes wide. It'll be Dacos and Lovett. Lovett soccers off the ground on the outer side. Close to the boundary line. Stephen Stretch, can he keep it in play? Dacos comes down, gets taken off the football, and will be free kick. Another 50 with Stretch going on with it and kicking the ball away. So the frustration now creeping into the Melbourne game.
Yes, well, Stephen Stretch would be frustrated. Michael Gaffer's played a very fine second half, having found Stretch breaking away from him in that first half. Really lifted his game and persisted as he normally does.
Ross, is it possible that players don't hear the umpire's whistle?
And particularly in this size crowd, there's no doubt about that. However,
and look at the penalty that they've got to suffer. 50 metres, now he's got a chance to kick a goal.
Yes.
Dacos kicked 1 goal in the third quarter. He's added to that. That's number 2.
Well, Collingwood can seemingly do no wrong. Ball running freely for them. The decision's going their way. And Melbourne certainly can't find anyone to lift. Yes, Alan Johnson just querying that decision again with the umpire. But unfortunately, as is always the case, the umpire is right and you can't change his decision.
Spoken like a Brownlow
medalist. You beat me to it. Well, Collingwood have taken all before them since half-time. A fantastic third quarter. And they're going right on with it. In the centre, pinned is Greg Healy. Unfairly, says the umpire. And Greg Healy will take the free kick to put Melbourne into attack. Still striving hard, the Demons. And there's a mark to Sean White, 40 metres from goal. Sean White, who has played at full forward all day, has yet to kick a goal. And he may have kicked one now. 8-7 Melbourne. Collingwood 16-16. Healy, Lyon. Kick towards half forward. The mark is taken by Connolly. Got no one to kick to. Cloak's dropped back into the square. Connolly's short kick. Okay, White, good lead. Mark's on his chest. 35 metres from goal. So Sean White, goalless up until a few seconds ago, now has a chance to kick his second. Not a bad kick by White, just off to the left. Through for a behind. 8-8, 16-16. Who would have thought that Collingwood would be double Melbourne's score after such a titanic struggle in the first half?
And certainly John Northey will be hoping that his players would just rally and try and reduce that lead that Collingwood have to save some face. And naturally, Lee Matthews will want his players to go on with it, particularly as percentages become important later in the year.
Ronnie McEwen. There's Brown calling for it short, but he elects to go long. Mullane at the back is forced to defend by tapping it down in front. Connolly and Shaw are at the bottom. So a bounce to Wilson. On to Bailey. It's a high kick. Will put the ball inside 50. Great mark by Sean White. Well, the Demons have given us a couple of rippers today, and this is another one. Ross?
Yes, it's a fine mark. Perhaps not quite as good as Stephen Stretch's early in the game, but obviously Sean White just growing in confidence.
Can he make amends for that last kick? I think he's done the same thing again.
1-4 his kick.
8-9 Melbourne, 16-16 Collingwood.
He really hasn't moved freely all day, I don't think. Not quite 100% fit.
McEwen again. This time looking for Christian on the outer side. Will be free kick. Campbell interfering.
Christian, that was a beautiful kick by McEwen. Covered 55, nearly 60 metres. Now Christian kicks it towards the wing.
Oh.
And a one-handed mark by the acrobatic Darren Mullane. Just hurt his back ever so slightly, but when you mark like that, you get up and kick it pretty quickly.
Oh, yes, great control. When he lost his footing to still hold it with one hand.
Punch away by the Demons' defence. Here's Kerrison. Just about to get a kick. Umpire awards a free kick to Hawke. Mullane in the hands of a trainer just behind Paul Hawke. Hawke kicks now towards half forward. And a good mark taken by Kelly. He's been an excellent player. Tony Shaw up to full forward behind. Manson can't mark. Punched away by Steins. Goes after it again, Jimmy Steins. He's been crunched. Dersmer out the side. Maybe a free kick will be taken by Steins. And the Collingwood player being spoken to by umpire Sheehan. The ball to go back to big Jim Steins.
Yes, it's taken its toll on Jim Steins, having O'Dwyer on the bench to work hard against Manson and David Cloak. He stuck at it.
Steins in short, mark to Healy. Melbourne going short when they should be perhaps pumping it pretty long into their forward line. Their score looking pretty miserable.
Healy towards the centre. Big pack of players. It's Hawke that comes out with it. The hurried kick is high into the middle, and the bounce is not favourable. Newport claim. Tony Shaw steals it. Stab pass to Alexander. Gets up beautifully. Shoots towards goal, and has kicked another one.
Well, the fourth goal by Colin Alexander. 17th for Collingwood. Manson tries to crash his way through. Spalding kick off the ground, marked by Wilson. Wilson looking for the lead. Connolly at half forward. So Chris Connolly, hand pass back to Stretch. Stretch in short into the pocket. Down goes Lyon. And crashing in from behind was Shane Ward. Free kick will go to the Melbourne player.
Seemed to lose that ball in the sun.
Yes, and I couldn't quite see the purpose of Chris Connolly handballing to Stephen Stretch around on his left foot, trying to say left side. Connolly's a left foot kick would have been better served to kick the ball himself.
Gary Lyon going off for Collingwood as Michael Gafer. Coming on, back on as Heath Shepherd as Gary Lyon punts for goal and kicks truly.
Gary Lyon's first goal, he did play most of the first half in the back half, coming into the forward line for the second half on the half forward flank to try and give the Melbourne forward line a lift. He has worked very hard, and it's certainly not been his fault. Melbourne's performance has been as it is.
Back in the middle. 63, plays 118. Steins wins it, but Manson takes it out. Jackson now. Bailey, a short kick to half forward. No mark taken. Morwood stood his ground. The advantage is paid. He was going to give a free kick to Morwood. Shaw kicks wide. Gavin Brown, who's been busy all day, towards Heath Shepherd, who's just come back out onto the ground and pulls in a beauty. Deep into the attacking zone of Collingwood again. No mark taken. Spalding. Well, he seemed to trip over the pack. Takes the free kick and plays on straight away. Floating a left foot kick wide towards the boundary line. And it ambles over with Gavin Brown. So a throw in on Collingwood's right half forward flank. Steins, Kerrison and Bailey. Bailey battling hard, was tackled a fraction high, said the umpire, and he will take the free kick. Brett Bailey on half back. Cloak. Well, David Cloak has combined pretty well with James Manson today. McEwen has left full back and run down. Sweeping hand pass to Tony Shaw. It'll go back to McEwen again. This time he'll get a kick and go long. Down towards half forward. Steins in front. No mark paid. Can he get it out? He cannot. And we will see yet another bounce. Let's go down to the boundary line. We saw Mick Gayfer leave the ground a short time ago. Michael Roberts, any news there?
Yes, Sandy. Michael Gayfer had a bad poke in the left eye, and they're treating him now.
Struggle for possession at centre half forward for Collingwood. Kerrison goes bang from a standing start. There's another one.
Well, again, that's indicative of how Collingwood are playing. Their backmen are kicking goals. Kerrison coming up the ground. And the Collingwood players elated with that, and just adding that extra couple of points of percentage. As we see the ball spilling free. Barwick to Kerrison. A good goal.
Actually, very improved player, Kerrison, over the years. I can remember when he first started, his kicking wasn't all that effective, but that was a beautiful kick then.
Used to play mainly as a tagger, didn't he, Ian?
Yes, and now he certainly is a very productive player for Collingwood. Alexander will get the ball out of the centre. Kick over the top to half forward. Hughes, favoured by the bounce over Starcevic. And Danny Hughes kicks of Demons up towards centre half forward. Big punch away by the Collingwood defence. Tony Shaw slips. Steins kicking towards full forward. White can't quite mark, but he goes after it again with desperate stuff. Shaw and White
Lost it.
Oh, you've got to be joking.
penalised for not moving the ball on, and a bit of a dust up.
It was the only player going from the ball, made every effort to get it, having just spilt that mark, dived on it, tried to retain possession. The Collingwood players just held his jumper and they give him a free kick.
And a pretty honest bloke, Sean White too, and he goes right off at the umpire. Play goes on. The ball now back into the arms of Jamie Turner. He kicks Collingwood up towards half forward. 2-on-1, dropping back and taking a safe mark as Steins. He gets it off to Johnson. Johnson forced to kick quickly up towards the wing. Nearly the mark to Mullane. Never mind, it's a free kick. And Darren Mullane, who's been a great player for his side, coming up for his 19th kick with 7 hand passes. On centre wing now. Mullane kicks the ball towards centre half forward. Nearly a mark to Kelly. Alexander, hand pass over the top. Johnson favoured by the bounce. Runs up towards centre half forward. Looking for a player to hand pass to. It's Bailey. He'll go back to Johnson. Johnson from 45 metres goes for goal. And just pulls it across his body ever so slightly through for another behind to Melbourne. 9-10 plays 18-16, and we've got just under 4 minutes left.
McEwen to Cloak. Towards centre wing. Mullane at the back. Kick travels little distance. Healy on the road. He's got Steins across that half-forward line and picks him out nicely. Some tired players out there now. Collingwood, knowing they've got the game won. Jackson claimed. Connolly dives on it. With him is Kerrison. Does well to get it to Hawke, who has a quick bounce. Then kicks over the centre. Chancing his arm was Lovett. Tried to soccer it but failed. Starcevic long in towards full forward. Can Kelly get there? He cannot. And the ball beats him over the line for a throw-in. In the right forward pocket. Kelly again trying to tap it wide. Dacos sees it over. 64 plays 124. So the Magpies leading at the moment by 60 points with just under 2.5 minutes of play remaining in this game. Johnson goes wide to Rode. Sweeps it even wider to Brett Bailey. The running stretch. Spent most of the day on that outer wing and has given us some exciting runs and one sensational mark. That one to Turner is being paid. He too has been very busy. 16 kicks, 7 marks and 7 handballs to Jamie Turner. Mullane, another great contributor. Over centre wing. Stretch again. Chasing his Hawke. Stretch pulls it back. Sean White not trying to mark, trying to tap it on to Campbell. He beats 2 and centres it nicely. McEwen Klein goes in after it again. Morwood tries to push it out of the pack. Tackle is deemed too high, said the umpire on Sean White. So he will take it right on the 50-metre line. And we've got a bit of a Barney on the other side. Well, we wouldn't worry about that now. It's the end of the day after the ball has gone over the line. So another throw-in. Cloak with the left hand. Jamie Turner is also there at the bottom. Now Campbell picks up, shoots high. McEwen on the last line of defence. Not paid, said the umpire. And Brian Wilson said that was deliberate out of bounds.
What else was he going to do?
So he's got the kick. He tries to bend it back, but all he has done is put it out of bounds on the other side on the full. So 20 seconds remaining. Cloak to the half-back line. Manson flew high. Spalding still battling. Held and will be free kick. It'll be one of the last kicks of the game, however, if not the last. Spalding kicks. There's the siren. Victory to the Magpies. Well, after a tremendous first half, Collingwood running out big winners. 18-16. 124. Eclipsing Melbourne. 9-10. 64. Ian Robertson, how did you assess that performance?
Well, I think that Collingwood is certainly a top 3 contender, and if they can keep playing the way they are, finishing the top 3, there's no reason why they can't go on with it. They've got some good players all over the ground. I thought their defence worked hard, particularly in the first half, and then after half-time, you bring on a guy like Alexander. He kicks 4 goals, gets them moving a little bit, and there you are. They kick 7 goals in the third term, and it's all over.
Main scorers for Collingwood, Kelly 4 and Alexander 4. Repeating the score, 18-16 to 9-10.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Brewery 1989 Premiership season.
To burst the Melbourne hoodoo and move up to second place on the ladder. Kelly kicked 4 goals and Alexander, who was a last-minute replacement for Brian Taylor, also kicked 4. Crowd 67,000 at the MCG. Well, a real beauty at Princes Park coming up later, and also Scott Palmer in Saturday Night Replay.